Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Alexander Armstrong. In the news this week, a promise that Labour will not put up taxes has an immediate effect on Tony Blair's pants. In Kensington, the police are on hand to assist visitors to the newly reopened Diana Memorial Fountain. And at Highgrove, it's another early start for the under-butler as he prepares Prince Charles's grapefruit juice. On Ian Hislop's team is a man who says he believes it's better to be relentless than smart. And may I say, that's a particularly relentless jacket you're wearing there, Michael. Please welcome Michael Winner. And with Paul Merton tonight, a stand-up comedian who said in a recent interview that being a female comic is a bit like driving a bus, except you can have a few drinks before going to work. So more like being an airline pilot, then. Please welcome Joe Caulfield. And we start with round one. Ian and Michael, have a look at this.
It's red smoke coming out of Wapping. They're burning copies of The Sun.
Now Tony's washing his hands. Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday, I did.
Oh, really? What's he say?
I said, wash your hands, Tony.
That's the literacy programme. They're teaching Prescott to read. Michael Howard and the Lib Dems. Oh, they found a voter. So what did you ring Blair about?
He's actually going to speak at an event for me next week.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Right.
I can't say what it is because, you know, security, they're very worried somebody kidnap him. And
some of the voters will turn up, suggest to him that he might have got it all wrong.
I like what Michael Howard's doing, though. Was it slashing the council tax and now we don't have to pay stamp duty? It is a closing down sale, isn't it? It's like everything must go. Vote Tory and we'll give you a sofa, nothing to pay till February.
Did you catch the Paxman interview?
Yes. Yeah, very good. Yeah, a wonderful interview.
Watching Tony Blair squirm out of the illegal immigrant question.
Can you give us a rough idea of how many there may be?
There's point in speculating on that. What I do know is...
Is it tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions?
I've said I don't think there's any point in speculating.
But you have no idea?
Well, it's not a question of having no idea.
Well, what is your idea, Prime Minister?
What you can say is how many people are applying for asylum month by month, how many people are you removing, and what is the backlog? And we are dealing with all of those issues.
Prime Minister, you have really no idea of how many failed asylum seekers there are illegally in this country.
I can't...
You
because
don't know.
people are here illegally,
You don't
it is
know.
difficult for the very
You
reason...
don't know.
You can see why he prefers Little Ant and Little Deck, really.
The campaign proper obviously got underway this week with Prescott.
He was visiting Wales, I think, wasn't he?
He was, once again, yes.
And journalists tried to sort of ask him about a Welsh MP who had left the Labour Party, and Prescott didn't want anything about it. He just
You only said.
Yeah.
Either, why are you asking me about this? I don't care. It's a Welsh situation. I'm a national politician. Where do they get these amateurs from? You're an amateur, mate. Go get on your bus, go home, bugger off, get on your bus, you amateur. And when the reporter asked, is my interview over, John? Because if that's all you're going to say, that's what's going to go in the paper. Prescott responded, ooh, I'm scared. Go ahead, put it in your paper. But it's been a very tough week for Charles Kennedy as well, after the birth of his son. Here he is at a press conference about council tax.
You're talking in the region of 20... Yeah, I mean, if you take a double income couple, 20,000 each, that's what you're talking about. 40,000. Yeah. 40,000 pounds. Sorry. Yes. 40,000.
See, there's an eye. He's been up all night. He's got a new baby.
What's been the big issue, according to the Daily Mail this week?
Hair.
It has indeed, yes.
Yeah, this is the big election issue.
Yes.
Sandra Howard versus Cherie Blair. Who's paying more for their hair? Is that what's going on?
I put Hair Restorer on 3 years ago, Ian. You could do this. I don't want to be rude. And I tell you, You would have regrowth in a year's time. They wouldn't recognise you.
Really? And would I end up looking like you?
Well, no.
Because I don't want to be rude, but I think I'd rather die.
And in what other way has the Sun surprisingly come out for Tony Blair this week?
You mean the other Sun, not the Sun newspaper?
Yes.
What, is he responsible for the good weather?
Partly. The good weather is responsible for his...
His tan, yes.
Tan,
yes.
exactly.
Controversial
Yes.
tan.
Yes.
Is it out of a bottle? Is it from the Sun?
Let's have a look at him, though. Here's pale Blair.
Oh, lovely.
And here... Sunny Blair. What do you reckon? Vote Blair, get browner. Yes, and talking of tans, what's Kilroy been up to this week?
Being ignored, I would think, isn't it?
Doing his best not to be. When campaigning near Derby, he went up to a man with a stick and asked him if he was going to vote for him. When the man hesitated, Kilroy said, "Don't say no while I've got the TV cameras on me, otherwise I'll get that stick and wrap it round your neck." Got a way about him, hasn't he?
So
Yeah.
Blair's trying to be Kilroy and Kilroy's trying to be Prescott.
Then shortly afterwards, he was shaking hands with a man who wouldn't let go, and he said, "He won't let go of my hand. Are you gay? Leave me alone. I want to go home." Well, yes, this is another busy week of campaigning. Michael Howard had to change plans on Tuesday and take a train to Peterborough when, according to The Independent, his helicopter failed to take off. Apparently, the pilot had been to Peterborough before. On Tuesday, the Conservatives accused Health Secretary John Reid of telling 31 lies in one day. Not bad, but he still fell well short of current government targets. Paul and Joe, another election for you.
OK, that's the white,
real
black
one, isn't
smoke,
it?
yes. That's... Oh, happy
Oh,
nuns.
Sound
happy
music.
nuns.
Sound of music's on somewhere. They're happy.
There is the new Pope with remarkably kind eyes, don't you think?
Peter Andre, very happy.
Yeah. That's the Pope tribute band
Yeah.
looking on.
We're doing that sketch from Monty Python or something. Yeah.
He's a very simple, humble man, he says. He walked through the wrong door, found he was Pope, couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And he stood on the balcony and he said, "Calm down, dear, it's only a pope."
Thank God we got that out of the way. So it's old Ratzinger is the new Pope,
Yeah.
the man with the kind eyes.
Yes, how was the news announced? Obviously billowing white smoke.
We had a bit of Latin first.
Yeah,
a big build-up.
Habemus?
Habemus Papam, which is sort of big it up for.
Yeah.
You like that?
Big it up for.
Yeah. Bit of cultural patois.
Are your children becoming teenagers?
What did the former Cardinal Ratzinger have that no other cardinal had?
I don't know. The ear of God, the finger of Jesus, I don't know.
He had a fan club on the internet where you could buy all sorts of Ratzinger things. Like, anyone like to guess?
Wind-up doll with the eyes of a killer.
Wind up
Pope on a rope. Very popular shower attachment.
Yeah.
baseball caps, jazzy T-shirts with slogans including "Putting the Smackdown on Heresy since 1981." Yes, it's that rarely seen phenomenon, a Conservative election victory, with the announcement that Cardinal Ratzinger is the new Pope Benedict XVI. According to The Telegraph, the new Pope believes homosexuals are suffering from an objective disorder. Yes, some of them still want to be Catholic priests. Ratzinger has already moved into the Pope's official apartment, so once again a swift German occupation of a former Polish territory. And so to round two. Regular viewers of BBC Two will have noticed that the popular quiz Ask the Family has been revived recently by the two most irritating people in the world. However, it turns out that Ask the Family is the one format that over the years Have I Got News For You has inexplicably failed to rip off. So here goes. Fingers on buzzers for the first question. Here's an everyday object from an unusual angle. But what is it?
I don't think I want to know.
Paul and Joe.
Frozen sausage. It seems to have hit him directly. Well, you can see where the plaster is there. It must have just sort of landed just there. But somebody was driving along the road, had his car window down. Somebody threw an object, hit him on the nose, fell into sort of where the pedals are, got to the hospital. It was a frozen sausage.
Yes, well, the headline writers had a field day. The Sun had the usual suspects. The Guardian
awful.
went for banger and smash for motorist, while the Daily Express had the pithy thug threw frozen sausage into car and broke my nose.
Is the new Pope a suspect?
Yes.
He's got the eyes of a killer, you know. If I say it often enough, they'll have to include it.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, I know.
Where do you think it came from? Immediately
Out of another car?
It was, travelling in the opposite direction.
Who said that? Yeah.
Yes, sorry, you did.
They should take a point away from you, Paul, for saying it twice.
I so much want to say calm down, dear, but I can't. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't.
What was the reaction of the paramedic when he arrived at the scene?
Oh, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
That's handy.
Only a new Pope could have done this.
He said he'd never seen anything like it in 30 years. Sausage is obviously rare in South Woodham Ferrers. This is the Essex motorist who was hit in the face by a frozen sausage. According to the Express, after being struck in the face, Mr. Hatfield was left with a very painful and swollen nose. Yeah, what you need for that, mate's a bag of frozen peas. Now, the next question takes the form of a word quiz, and here's an example. If you fit the shapes from the top line into the boxes on the bottom line, they form a word. In this case, the words Osama bin Laden. OK? Cast your eyes over this word.
That's an R.
What's an R? What is an R, Ian? Point me the R,
Looks
please.
like Parthenon.
It'd be so much easier if you just brought the letters down into the square. I can't make head or tail of this.
You're not going to get it, are you? So I'll just reveal it. There it is.
Marathon.
Thank God.
You were very good, you were close.
Yes, Paula Radcliffe obviously won the marathon.
She did have a wee in the street, didn't she?
Just a wee.
Oh, really? Because she has got away with it, because then everyone's going, oh, well, she won the marathon. You know, I do that. People go, oh, she's had too much to drink.
You've got to keep running.
Keep running.
Keep running.
Who else had a controversial marathon?
Oh, there was the guy, Hilary Jones, is it the
Hilary
doctor's
Jones,
name?
exactly,
Who
yes.
was suddenly pulled a calf muscle, couldn't run, and so then gave his number to his son, who then ran the marathon, which is strictly against the rules. You can't, once you've got your number, you can't give it to somebody else.
And he'd been banned for life, which seems a bit harsh.
Well, he could run it on days when they're not running it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they can do. He's actually only banned for 1 day a year.
So actually, yeah.
And he'll probably win on the other days.
Absolutely. So who's the mug?
This was the London Marathon where Paula Radcliffe went for gold and then carried on and won the race. Asked why she didn't use the portaloos provided, Paula said, I'd have to go through the crowd and sign 3 autographs on the way back. Still, at least no one wanted to shake her hand. Paula's toilet stop drew Paula's toilet stop drew no complaints from the other competitors.
Why did you suddenly go deeper?
I thought it would just change the...
That was gravitas.
Change
Suddenly
pitch.
boring gravitas.
Yeah.
That was good. I like
Serious news story
Yeah,
now.
suddenly-
Yeah.
Same symphony, different movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, John's words there. Paula's toilet stop drew no complaints from the other competitors, although there was an awful lot of tutting from the runners behind the bloke dressed as a rhino. Another word quiz for you all.
Oh, I can see that, yes.
Snail porridge.
Yes, snail porridge. Why has that been in the
Because
news?
Heston Blumenthal got awarded in this little place in Bray the best restaurant in the world.
Snail porridge, is that one of the dishes?
No, in his own restaurant, yes, and he does bacon and egg ice cream. I was there. No, I was sitting there, I swear to you, in this meal, and a waiter comes over with a teaspoon, and it's got a little mound of something. He says, open your mouth, and he shoves the teaspoon in. I mean, that's what they do today in these
Did
posh
they know
restaurants.
you were
don't
very,
go to
very
posh
old?
restaurants.
doesn't sound right. With bacon and egg ice cream.
Yes.
It's like words that don't go together. It's like saying steak and kidney fish. It's just...
He makes the best chips ever.
So you go all the way to
Pumpkin
Bray
Road.
to get chips?
Not that... Yes, well worth it.
Right.
Not that far. Where do you live?
Well, I just go down the village. There's a van.
Yes, well, this is indeed snail porridge, one of the items available at the world's best restaurant, the Fat Duck in Bray in Berkshire. Snail porridge was invented at the Fat Duck, seconds after a customer complained to a quick-thinking waiter that there was a snail in her porridge. One of the dishes on the menu is bacon and egg ice cream, or bung a sausage in it and you got a 99. Which means at the end of this round, Paul and Joe are on 3, Ian and Michael are on 5. Round 3 is the odd one out round. Ian and Michael, your favourites are Pope Benedict XVI, Robert Runcie, Sir David English, and Prince Harry.
Well, I think this is a question about uniforms.
Yeah.
You'd be right.
Yeah.
Wearing German uniforms.
Yeah.
In particular.
Yeah.
The present Pope was briefly in the Hitler Youth.
Yes.
And,
But they weren't right-wing enough.
Yep.
Yeah. He's got the eyes of a killer, have you noticed? The eyes of a killer.
He was forced into it. Anyway, and then he joined the German army and he deserted, so he has worn a German uniform. Prince Harry wore German uniform. He was locked up for, for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very disconcerting, this. OK, let's reverse the roles. Yeah.
David English gave a party. He was the editor of the Daily Mail where they all dressed in the Nazi uniform.
Which means Robert Runcie was actually dressed in British uniform during the war and was decorated for gallantry. I believe he was an MC.
You got the wrong odd one out, actually.
The Pope's the odd one out.
The Pope is the odd one out.
Because he's worn one... We know he did, and he wore it for a reason. They've worn it for...
For fun,
Fun
is
for
right,
frolic.
yes. The others...
Yeah.
The Archbishop wore it for
What did the
fun, did he?
Archbishop do?
Robert Runcie, when he was a soldier in his 20s, fighting in the war, put on a German helmet and gave a Nazi salute as a joke. Very funny. Well, the new Pope has played down his time of combat in the German army.
So he didn't start doing... You know, who's that? Who's that, then? Hey, who's that? I'd have been tempted.
Prince Harry dressed up as a Nazi for a Colonials and Natives party. Harry was there with his friend Guy Pelly. Now, how did Guy's mother defend Harry's costume? She said you could argue that it was a good thing Harry wore that costume. After all, it highlighted the whole debate about Auschwitz. And yes, that's right. So well done, Harry. What did Guy go as?
The guy... Did he go as a gorilla? Oh, no, that's
Guy the gorilla.
Guy the gorilla.
He had gone as the Queen. Mrs. Pelly said it certainly wasn't disrespectful to dress as the Queen, no more disrespectful than for a white man to dress as a black man. I myself went as a penguin. Then she put her pants on her head and ran off singing Three Blind Mice. In Harry's defence, it was a last-minute decision. He just grabbed the first thing he could find in Princess Michael's wardrobe. Paul and Joe, here are your four. Andrew Marr, Peter Purvis, Welsh First Minister Rhodri Morgan, and the Beatles.
The first thing that occurs, Andrew Marr and Peter Purvis both have Doctor Who connections, in that Peter Purvis was an assistant to Doctor Who before he became Blue Peter Man, and Andrew Marr was in last week's rather wonderful episode. I thought it was very good. I think it's been a remarkable triumph, this series. Is it in the right direction, Doctor Who?
Yes, you are.
So it's made in Wales, and that guy at the bottom left is a Welshman. I can't think what the Beatles connection would be with Doctor Who, so they must be the odd one out.
No, they're not. No, the Beatles...
Were they in it?
Were in it, yes, they were. They've,
when were the Beatles
appeared.
in Doctor Who?
They were on a screen, I think, when they transported themselves back to the 60s.
This is a real anorex question, isn't it?
So the Welshman's the odd one out, then? He's not been in it.
Rhodri Morgan is the odd one out, yes, because the answer is they've all appeared in Doctor Who, apart from Rhodri Morgan, who was mistaken for an extra, one of the tree monsters, when he turned up for an interview in Cardiff. Yes, what did Andrew Marr's recent filming involve?
He had to stand outside number 10 Downing Street, so he was, he thought himself into the part. Just reporting the fact that the Prime Minister has disappeared, and shortly after the space... Have you seen it, Ian?
No, but if I'd known the Prime Minister had disappeared, I'd have watched.
Absolutely.
Spaceship comes in,
phone.
clips Big Ben, lands in the Thames. 20 minutes later, nobody can find the Prime Minister.
Oh, fantastic.
Fabulous.
What
Well-
about the Chancellor? Is he gone?
He's gone. He's gone.
Very good. How did the Radio Times refer to Andrew Marr recently?
The man with the big ears who stands outside number 10 Downing Street.
One of the strangest-looking males on the planet. Yes, in one of his books, Marr tells of how a man came up to him in a shop and said, "Here, you look just like that Andrew Marr, you poor bugger." Peter Purvis. Which doctor did Purvis hang
William
out with?
Hartnell.
William Hartnell, that's right. Yes, he went in originally for the role of Giant Butterfly, but he was so damn good, they asked him to stay and take on the role of Steven Tyler. I think we've got a clip.
I must go.
What?
Doctor, I must. I'm getting stifled in here. I must go and do something, even if it's only to show them how stupid they are, wasting time with trials and speeches.
Like one of your ads, Michael. And how about the mix-up with Rodri Morgan? How did he...
But something like he was walking along and he's a very tall man and the tree monster figures were also very tall people. So they assumed this way for makeup, dear, and so he was in the makeup and he was dressed up as a tree before he knew where he was.
That is exactly right. Apparently, when the real extra put his costume on, he was so convincing as a tree that Ron Davis came up and skulked behind him. Interestingly, much of the current Doctor Who series was filmed in Wales, an appropriate location as several episodes are set in 1950s England. In the long tradition of the show, Andrew Marr's ears are even bigger on the inside than they are on the outside. Which means at the end of this round, it's Paul and Joe on 5, Ian and Michael on 6. We finish, as always, on the missing words round. Our guest publication this week is the gold-topped Milk Bottle News. With the plaintive cry from the editor, "I haven't had much in the way of news lately. Where are everyone's milk bottle stories?" Just watch your post-bag bulge now. So, here we go. Outrage as Doctor Who what?
As Doctor Who fan gets girlfriend.
Outrageous Doctor Who isn't Ian Hislop. I felt so stupid. I announced to the nation last week that Ian was a new Doctor Who, and then the BBC said it wasn't the next day.
I'd started rehearsals at home.
Exactly, yeah. Ian and Anne would have come together, travelling through time and space. Travelling through time and space. That's right.
Outrage as Doctor Who crucified.
Oh?
Doctor Who, of course, a show that's designed for younger people but enjoyed by adults, as indeed is Billy Piper. Next, Morse better than what?
Is it Morse better than Lewis? Because Lewis is useless.
No, Lewis
Never
isn't...
solves anything.
Lewis isn't useless. He's there as a good support. It's better than mobile phones.
It is, yes. Morse better than text messages. Yeah. In a timed contest, a 93-year-old man sent a message by Morse code in less time than it took a teenager to text it. So there we are, kids. Morse code is quicker. They may find it a bit of a drag going into school with a telegraph machine, a headset, and a 93-year-old man. Next, Michael Winner, what?
Most wonderful person.
Who cares? Next. Police recruit capuchin monkey for what?
Is it intelligence work?
It is exactly intelligence work, yes, that's right. Yeah, they are sending...
You wouldn't waste them on the beat, would you?
Of course, they were always there in the background in the professionals. Before the da-da-da, there was always... Wow. Oh, yeah. There are fears that monkeys may prove to be only of limited use in criminal detective work, as they have an unfortunate tendency to see no evil... Oh, bollocks.
Can Michael direct you?
Yes, please.
Get ready, get ready. You're rushing it, dear. You're getting over it slowly. Calm down. Do it.
There are fears that monkeys may prove to be of only limited use in criminal detective... Oh, Right, one last time. I'll get this
We're getting
time,
on the director. This one's hopeless.
And feel the monkey. Feel.
There are fears that monkeys may prove to be of only limited use in criminal detection work, as they have an unfortunate tendency to see no evil and hear no evil. Next, royals have 80 what?
Pints of milk delivered every day. It's got to be from milk bottles.
Absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Yes, pints of Channel Islands milk.
I've switched to organic milk. It doesn't come in bottles.
Doesn't it? What's
organic
going?
milk. And it's impossible to open. It comes in little plastic things. You have to tear things. Tear things out. Do you understand it? You have to tear them.
It's your bedtime, Mr. Winner.
Next. Hello, I'm your MP. Actually, no, I'm your candidate. Gosh, says what?
I think it actually is Boris.
It is indeed Boris, yes. Whilst on the campaign trail in Henley, Boris also was heard to say, I can't remember what my view is on drugs. What's your view on drugs? And finally, the forgotten art of what?
Memory loss.
Opening milk bottles.
Is exactly what it is.
Not easy.
The forgotten art of opening milk bottles. This is from the latest edition of Milk Bottle News. The big feature is a preview of a milk bottle convention, complete with milk bottle auction, milk bottle display, and the chance to see one or two milk bottles that you may not have seen. That's all at Sheldon's White House Dairy, Parkgate Industrial Estate, Knutsford, Cheshire, on Sunday, April 17th. Oh, bugger. So, yes, the final scores are Paul and Joe on 9, Ian and Michael 10.
Ooh.
But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
Man who didn't become Pope is inconsolable.
Man from Newcastle on night out.
Frozen sausage killer suspect arrested.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists Ian Hislop and Michael Winner, Paul Merton and Joe Caulfield. And I leave you with news that at the start of another gruelling tour of 27 UK cities, Charles Kennedy realises he's forgotten his Oddbins loyalty card. There's excitement amongst internet users as Google finally gets up and running in Moldova. And in Norfolk, a primary school teacher is brought up to speed on Conservative plans for the future of British education. Good night.